If you are dating and you're over 25, this is for you. Do not hang out with that guy that you like. This is why. Hanging out puts you in a no man's land. Hanging out allows you to get comfortable without having full clarity. You build an attachment as if you're already in a relationship. You've stopped dating, aka interviewing in a fun way. You're basically putting the cart before the horse. You don't want to do that. It's gonna mess up your mind. Send you mixed signals. You can snuggle and cuddle and hang out and watch movies when you're in a relationship. Trust me. If you are
I find it funny how she says when you're over the age of 25, you need this advice, because we all know the ladies in their early 20s are out there having fun with the chads, just quote, hanging out, and doing all of this kind of stuff. And then it becomes important to them, gentlemen, to secure a relationship as they get older. You see, they need that security plan. They need that backup guy, ready and at the go to provide for her life as she gets older. Okay, because relationships become really important to women as they get older and they realize, hey, wait a minute, I'm not getting the attention that I used to. I'm not getting the guys into me that I used to be able to. So it's time to pick a beta or the best guy that I can and get out of the dating market. And more often than not, guys, that guy's going to have to put up with not a lot of fun compared to the other guys, if you get what I'm saying. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be breaking down this TikTok, and we're also going to be looking at a video topic submitted through the Patreon today. But if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord link in the description if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description. If you're looking to become a supporter, that's the best way to do it at the moment. And the link for that is somewhere below the video. But guys, we're going to jump back into this story here and go over it together, have a bit of a laugh. And I'm also going to bring up Steve's topic here. So thank you, Steve, for submitting this one through the Patreon today. And I thought it was a good one, okay? I'm not doing much topics through the Patreon anymore, but I feel like this was a pretty good one. Okay, so he wanted me to cover men who do base their sense of self-worth off of women. Okay, so that's something we're going to be tackling as we get into the stories and such. But let's break this down and have a bit of a laugh together.
dating and you're over 25, this is for you. Do not hang out with that guy that you like. This is why.
Yeah, you see, this is a strategy that older girls use, right? So when they start to look for a real man, what they'll do is they'll withhold the fun, they'll withhold the hanging out with no strings attached, and they'll do those things with Chad, okay, the guy that they're actually attracted to, because people get really confused when I say this. Women will be attracted to you for different reasons. Okay, now if you're a guy with a lot of money, you can get women attracted to you because of your money. Is that good attraction? Is that good? Is that what you want? I would say no, right? A lot of men don't particularly care. But if, given the choice, the optimal one is obviously having a girl who's attracted to you because, she's like got that desire for you, as opposed to, oh yeah, well, he's a security plan, so I'm attracted to him because of what he can do for me. You see?
Hanging out puts you in a no man's land. Hanging out allows you to get comfortable without having full clarity.
And what does clarity mean, guys? Clarity means investment. Clarity means lack of ambiguity surrounding the relationship. You see, this is what we talk about when we bring up on the channel, gentlemen, that women are out here for relationships. Okay, women have to get the commitment from you. This is why I hammer so hard on you guys, is like, don't be giving up your commitment for girls who are not worth it. And to be quite honest, gentlemen, like, you have to go through a lot of sifting. Some would argue indefinite sifting to find one who's worth it. Like, we're getting to the point now, gentlemen, I want you to realize how badly this has gotten, where a lot of men are just going, and I've said this many times, a lot of guys are just considering or have gone to non-Western countries to find their wives and their long-term girlfriends. And, you can't really blame them for that, because like, if you're looking to make a wife out of these girls, gentlemen, who have been from guy to guy in their 20s, you're going to have a really hard time, because you're going to get the masculine, crappy behavior, okay, because she feels like she can do better than you. That's what she feels deep down. She's got those chads before. She's got those guys who are way more attractive than you before. So she's kind of settled with you, and now she resents you for it. So you're not getting the play or the fun, or you're not getting any of that, okay? And, and then you want to build a marriage off of that. I see, no.
Build an attachment as if you're already in a relationship. You've stopped dating, aka interviewing in a fun way.
Yeah, notice how when girls go on dates, it's an interview process for men, right? What they're actually doing is, you see, that really hits the nail on the head a bit there, because I try and tell you guys that, and a lot of you already know this, but women are the selectors. You as a guy, you're not the selector in the dating marketplace. You think that you're going out there selecting the girls. No, no, no. If you're a guy, let's just say this, right? Let's just say you're a famous guy. You're not actually choosing from the girls. You just have more girls choosing you. I can't remember who said that, man, but that was like really profound when I learned about that. I was like, wow, that's so because these girls going on dates, okay, what they're doing is they're vetting you. Now, in as of 2021, gentlemen, their vetting process has gotten really quite loose, because there's not a lot of social pressure on them to do any actual kind of vetting. So they're allowed to just freely choose their partners, which, hey, bravo to you. But don't expect the man at the end of the rainbow to come and pick up your life after you've given your soul to 50 guys. That's just not how it works.
Basically putting the cart before the horse. You don't want to do that. It's gonna mess up your mind. Send you mixed signals. You can snuggle and cuddle and hang out and watch movies when you're in a relationship.
Yeah, you see, those were all really family-friendly ways of saying the same thing, weren't they? But, I mean, girls are going to do this anyway. It doesn't matter how many... You want to sit down and you want to give this advice to girls, it doesn't matter how many times you say it, they're still going to do it. Like, videos like this are beyond pointless at a certain point, because the girls are going to look at this, go, haha, and then just still go off to the guy's house that they want to go to, okay? But anyway, guys, we're going to jump into today's topic for today, and we're also going to have a look at a couple of stories. So I'm going to quickly read off today's topic while I get up the stories in the background today. So Steve basically wrote to me, and he said, could you make a video on how men sometimes fall into depressive states of self-worth? And what they do is they go out of their way to impress women by doing different crap. So, making love songs. I would add to that, becoming a certain political leaning, and crap like that, right? Like, guys will start to bend their behavior to try and impress girls. So that's something we're going to be talking about as we get into today's video. And I'm going to pull up this story momentarily here as I find the correct one. And I think we'll open up with this. Okay, so now this has got an interesting... I've learned what these are called. I don't use Reddit much. These are called flares. Interesting, right? Dump him on the first lie. And what you'll notice, gentlemen, is that, you see, girls set their self-worth off of men. Okay, the highest value guy that they can attract, for lack of better words. That Chad that she had in her 20s, she will forever base her self-esteem off of his opinion. Now, what I will say is this, to address Steve's question kind of directly here, is your value as a man is not determined by the women that you get. Okay, I want that to be very clear. We got guys out here who perhaps are going full monk mode on this kind of stuff. You see my videos and you're like, bugger that. Can't blame you. But just to say it again, gentlemen, your value is not determined by girls. Okay, and I watched Myron talk about this the other day on Fresh and Fit. I know a lot of you guys absolutely dislike the show, but I think he does talk some facts here and there, right? And one of the things he said was, guys, which I tend to agree with, your value is not determined by the girl. It is determined by what you bring to society. Okay, we don't care about... This is why I say, like, I know I've got a lot of older gentlemen over here. A lot of gentlemen who are into things like cars and, motor vehicles of all sorts of shapes and sizes. When you're buying a car or a cool car, you're not buying the car to impress the girl. You want to buy the car that you want. Okay? Like, a lot of guys, what they try and do is they get really upset and they get really down when girls are not into them, man. It's just not the way to go, because who the hell is some girl? Like, girls are so fickle. You cannot just be like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to become the perfect guy, so every girl's going to like me. That's not how it works, man. If you base your self-esteem off of girls, you're going to have a very bad self-esteem, let me tell you that. But let's crack into this story here and talk about it some more. So it goes, the title is Dump Him on the First Lie. Lies Men Tell is the flare. He lied about his age. Said he was 37, and I had to find out myself he was in fact almost 40. I mean, 37 is almost 40, right? Wouldn't have mattered. I am no spring chicken, but... so she's probably older. But this just opened up a whole lot of opportunities to lie. because Pick Me wanted to believe him so badly when he said he wanted to live together, when he asked me to marry him 4 times but never pulled through, when he said he wanted to have a child, surprise, surprise, he had a vasectomy. Now I am left with nothing. Well, that's not exactly true. I have a cute dog, a bastard of a cat, seriously. This guy just comes and goes as he pleases. My chickens, doves, a beautiful pony, and a neglected donkey that I am trying to get back to health. The birds visit my feeder who come inside my house if I am a little behind on my feeding schedule, who then panic and try and smash my window. Man, those are some violent birds. All these animals give me more than I could ever get from a man. Laughs, hugs, joy, and unconditional love. I mean, this is what happens to girls, right? Is like they age out, they don't lock down the guy in time, they think that they have all of this time to do it, okay, and then they become lonely and bitter at the end of it. Right, because quite frankly, gentlemen, women cannot derive the same kind of pleasure from being a workhorse as men. Like when we as men we get into hobbies, right? We can go at that for hours. Like we got all sorts of miscellaneous hobbies over here. I had one guy talking about trains. We got all sorts of shows. We got like all sorts of skills like editing and all this kind of stuff over here. Like we as guys, we can work ourselves into the ground if we like what we're doing. Okay, but girls, man, they're not out here because their survival does not depend on how well they perform. Okay, ours does. Okay, a lot of their survival, get this, gentlemen, a lot of their survival comes from what quality of mate that they can get around them. Our survival as a man comes from what can we actually provide. It makes me so, like, it stresses me out, man, when I see all of these guys trying to base their sense of self-worth off of girls, right? Because that's a very quick track to, very dark places, shall we say. But anyway, we're going to read through this one again because this is a common theme, okay? And this relates to the TikTok we watched at the start of girls who end up going it alone. All right, it is titled, A Common DM I Get from This Term, I Don't Know What It Means. You'll be forever alone. Let's discuss this. And here they are translating men, by the way, so let's see if their translation is accurate. I never really understood this one. Is that supposed to be a threat? Am I supposed to freak out at the thought I could possibly spend the rest of my life alone? That's literally like threatening a poor person with a bunch of money. Oh no, what am I going to do with all this money? The statistics show that men largely benefit from being partnered with a woman. Every aspect of his life improves. In stark contrast, women gain nothing. In fact, they have to give up everything to play their part as the sweet, agreeable NPC wife. We're just going to address this really quickly. Okay, so maybe someone can clarify on the statistics, but my interpretation of this, let's have a look at this because this is a gross lie. All right? The statistics show that men largely benefit from being partnered with a woman. I would argue that those benefits were there and that's why the woman is with him. You see what I mean? It's like, okay, well, if a guy's with a girl, he lives a longer lifespan. Do you ever consider that the healthier guys just get picked by the girls more? Right? You see how they're trying to put it backwards. They're trying to make it look as though them joining the guy's life improves the guy's life. When in actual fact, they're selecting men with good lives. You see that? Like maybe someone could clarify if I'm just like way out of my depth and wrong here. But I really think that that's the case because women are not out here selecting for the weak guys. We're not out here, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, well I like sensitive and blah blah blah." Shut up, man! Like they're just so clueless about what they're actually attracted to, right? But this seems incredibly backwards to me. So maybe someone can enlighten me on that. But that's the way I'm interpreting that. Let's continue. When a woman is not attached to a man, she is less likely to go through terrible things. The vast majority of women go through terrible things with men that they know. Statistically, being alone and away from them is the safest place for a woman to be. I mean, you go back to tribal times and you try pushing that truth. We'll see how that goes. In my personal opinion, I think that these people screech that I'll be forever alone because that is their biggest fear. As you know, men are literally incapable of viewing the world from a woman's perspective, so they think that they have just the same fears and anxieties as them. So when they say, I'm going to be alone, it just reflects on them. I don't even mention I have a boyfriend because I don't see the point. I just block them. It's just amusing to see how they think it's an insult. A bunch of things to unpack here. First of all, it's hilarious. Like these girls who say, "Oh yeah, well I have a boyfriend." Let me tell you, when they say that, it's typically not the boyfriend that they want. That's why they don't bring up the boyfriend early, right? It's because these girls have checked out of the dating market with a guy that they're not. They can't go, "Oh yeah, he's got my stamp of approval. He can sit in the background. He can pay my bills, but he's never going to be the one that everyone sees." You see that? So that's the first point about this. The second point about this is, I mean, if you want to look, if you want to look at the rate at which people take out certain kinds of medications and engage in certain types of behaviors, when you look at girls, they struggle a lot more being single. And the reason for that, one of the reasons for that is guys can work a very long. Girls get way sick of working. Okay, look at this. If a girl has a choice between working when she's 60 because she still hasn't got her life sorted out, she's out there breaking her back on whatever job she's got to do, a retail job or something like that, or a nurse, or she's going to look at that and be like, damn, you know what? I really wish I had a life partner, someone to get me through these tough times so I didn't have to work. We as men, guys, like, let me tell you this, like, on average, we'll get guys who will disagree with this, obviously, but on average, man, we are built for that hard work. We're built that way because if we don't produce results, if we didn't produce results, our genes would not carry on, gentlemen. And this ties back into Steve's question, okay, which is, you know, when men base their self-esteem off of women, it's inaccurate because that's not what ensures you going forward. What ensures you going forward is your own expertise and the things that you care about. That's why it's pushed so much in this space, man. It's like, you think that these girls provide utility to you? No, 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 no. See, you provide utility to yourself. Okay, being independent, doing what you care about, the things that you want to do, going to the gym, right? If you're a guy, like I hate to be that guy, man, who's always like, go to the gym, but it is so important. Like, I don't care if you're not making the fastest gains that you want, you're not becoming as strong as you want or looking as good as you want. The gym is really good for you. Like from a health perspective and a clarity perspective, guys, like going to the gym is so important for men. If you're at home and you're just like playing video games and stuff like that, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys, I love video games, right? Like I absolutely love video games. Grew up playing them, fantastic, right? But going to the gym will just make everything so much clearer to you. So it's honestly the best money I've ever spent in my life, guys. Like I started watching Chronic and listening to him talk about the gym, and I started going like 9 months ago, man, and I've never felt so good. I would encourage you guys to go and do that. But let's jump into this last story here and have a bit have a bit of a laugh, guys. My wife of 5 years told me that she fell in love with someone else. From the time of this post, she told me about 4 hours ago. So he posted this 9 hours ago. I feel confused and hurt, and everyone I know is asleep. When talking to her, she said she still loves me and isn't tired of me. She also said that it's difficult to picture her life without him. She is very confused about the whole thing as well, and I believe the individual is a friend of both of ours. They only kissed and no touching anywhere. My first thought is that I go to therapy and try to work this out. Can a relationship between three people work? So I think he mistyped A. She has helped me in so many ways in my life that I can't bear the thought of losing her. It hurts too much. Too long didn't read. Wife of 5 years, loves me and now a friend of ours. I could really use some advice on what to do or how to make this work. And at the start of this, I said it was funny because I thought this was like another girl crying about being alone, but this is not so funny, man. Okay, girls, what you've got to understand, man, is their emotions are not fixed. They're not loyal to you every single day. They might wake up one day and not like you so much. They might wake up another day and like you this much. This is not a variable that we're sitting here trying to control. It changes like the weather. You see what I'm saying? Like the drama that comes into your life, the girl like bugging you about this and that, or maybe she doesn't like you so much this day, maybe she likes you this day. These are not variables we give a crap about. Okay, because one, you're not going to control them by directly interfering them. The only way you can control them is by walking away. And number two, it's just like the weather, guys. Like, and this goes back into Steve's point, okay, as we wrap up with this story here. If you spend your time trying to manage how girls feel about you and how they, you know what I mean? It's like what you're doing is you're going to be bashing your head against a wall because of a lot of it you can't control. Like, you can control a good degree of it for sure, but it's not like, why the hell are we out here trying to control the weather, man? Just let it storm if it needs to storm. Let it rain if it needs to rain. Who gives a crap? It's going to change from day to day anyway. Okay, so when guys get like entangled in the feelings of their wives and girlfriends trying to solve problems, what I'm actually watching them do is like, it's like they're leaving their shelter and they're going out at the storm and then they're just yelling at the clouds. That's what I see when guys are trying to solve all these problems with their wife and, you know, go through emotional stuff and all this crap. That's what I see. I see a guy he's sitting in his house looking at the storm and he thinks, you know what, I need to go out and help my lemon tree. It's like, bro. But anyway, guys, let's wrap up this episode with the rest of this story. Edit, this was a bigger response than I thought. Thank you all for all your honesty. As it stands now, we're talking things through and getting to the bottom of things. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, is getting to the bottom of things. Crap. After writing some things down and looking at some resources, I've concluded that I had emotionally neglected her by not understanding what she needs. I told her what she did was crappy and that I'm the most hurt by this. She agreed, and we are going to give this some time. Things are up in the air right now, but it's been emotionally exhausting to navigate all of this. Fun fact, my ear started burning and I lose my appetite when I am in emotional distress, I found out today. Stress is stressful. Disgusting. Disgusting. You see, this is exactly what I was talking about a second ago, guys. Sitting down, trying to work out crap, and then concluding that you're emotionally neglecting her. No, 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 no. You want to see real neglect? How about you get out of my life for kissing another guy? You see, the lack of self-respect is what causes this. If you have self-respect, gentlemen, we're not sitting here trying to have some conversation, man. Like, it stresses me out, man, watching these guys think that they owe this person something after they've done this. Get out of my damn house. Okay? It's not that hard to not kiss dudes. Like, these girls want to say, oh, I was emotionally neglected, so that's why I kissed him. Okay, well, continue to be neglected and get out of my house. We're going to leave it there, gentlemen. As always, leave your thoughts and comments below. Make sure you subscribe on your way out. Come and join the Discord link in the description if you haven't already. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description. It's a fantastic way to support the channel, and the link is somewhere below in the description box or somewhere around. But guys, we're going to leave it there. As always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.